Hello fashionistas and welcome back to my channel. Today it's going to be a little bit different. I actually had a video planned for you guys. It was going to be a capsule wardrobe, kind of like going through my process, but we are going to wait a week for that one because something popped up that I think is super important to talk about, and it's something that I care deeply about, and I think that we need to be made more aware and have more discussions about this. Unless you've been living under a rock for the last few years, you know of the supermodel Bella Hadid. So she's the younger sister of Gigi Hadid and her mother is Yolanda. She was a supermodel in her own rights back in the 80s, I believe. And Bella has been popping up lately because on March 15th, 2022, there was an article titled Bella from the Heart. And this article was actually super in-depth. It went through a whole bunch of Bella's life from her childhood and her not like fully remembering a lot of the things that she went through, to her Lyme disease and other mental health struggles, depression, her family, everything. But the thing everybody is talking about is the fact that she finally admitted to having a nose job. And for me, it's not even the fact that she admitted she had a nose job. Like that, don't get me wrong, that is huge. And I think it's a big step forward for the entertainment industry that somebody so famous is finally owning up to something that they've been accused of for years and years. To me, the biggest shocker was that she had a nose job when she was just 14 years old. And this leaves discussion for a lot of things, mostly to her mother, I would say. Like, you have to have a parent sign off on a surgery like that you're getting when you're 14, right? Like, she had to have approved. I really want to dive in today and talk about the importance, not even just how important it is, but it is imperative to be transparent as an influencer about the surgeries that you're getting, because they are not things that are available to everyday people, and it causes a lot of issues, especially in young people's self-esteem problems. And I just don't think that there is really a reason for it. There seems to be this crazy like don't talk about it happening. I feel like we're gonna do that today. We're gonna talk about it. I know there's a lot of different YouTubers who have broken this down in the past, and I'm gonna be mentioning them throughout this video. So for me, when Bella first arrived on the scene, I don't actually think I was the biggest fan of her, and I don't know why. I think I just didn't like her because I didn't like her, and that's not super fair. I do feel like back then she didn't have like a super apparent personality, I guess. And so for me, I was like, I want more than just you being a beautiful face on the runway. I've seen other YouTubers comment about this too. Neosaurus said something in her video about Bella Hadid and how she didn't used to be fond of her. She's just breaking down, is it an outfit or are they just skinny? So I'll link that in the description down below. And she talks about Bella too in her video. Yeah, that was in the past. I really didn't feel like she had a lot to offer me other than a pretty face and an amazing body, obviously. But today I have a very different feeling about her, and I think that she has started to show her personality more. She does actually talk about this in videos that I've been watching of her lately too. She has this video where she is getting her hair done, and she talks a lot about how she used to just be so busy. She used to be running around all day, and then she'd go to an event at night and just be completely drained. And you know what? I can totally understand in the industry how that would be just exhausting and kind of just deteriorate a person working so much. So I think she's really come into her own in the last couple of years. I mean, we can only say as much about a celebrity as we see through social media and everything, but she does seem to do really good things. She has been doing some humanitarian work. There are things that I'm also in support of, so I like that. She also kind of called out people for not wearing masks, which was great. We do definitely have to talk about something though, and that is the fact that she's lied about plastic surgery. She's been saying this for years, that she hasn't had any work done. And now that we know she definitely has at least had a nose job, you can tell that there is a difference from when she was younger to now. And a lot of videos do a great job breaking this down. Lori Hill does it in a bunch of her videos, and different plastic surgeons actually break down what they think has happened to her face. So I'll link some in the description down below so you can have like a professional walk you through everything. So actually we're gonna break down a quote here from the article. She has been accused of getting her eyes lifted, her jaw shaved, her lips filled. She says that none of that is true. People think I fully fucked with my face because of one picture of me as a teenager looking puffy. I'm pretty sure you don't look the same now as you did at 13, right? I have never used filler. Let's just put an end to that. I have no issue with it, but it's not for me. I do want to believe her, folks, but I'm led to believe with the evidence that it probably isn't true. I just never think that there's a place to lie about plastic surgery that you've had. If you're not ready to talk about it yet, that's okay. I think not commenting would be a better thing to do than blatantly saying no, denying everything. And Billie Eilish actually just opened up about this recently too. It's great to see such a huge influencer having such a firm stance on this. So Billie actually said, it's completely fine to get work done. Do this, do that, do what makes you feel happy. It's just when you deny it and say, oh, I got this all on my own, and if you just tried harder, you could get it. I love Billie Eilish. She's so wonderful. She addresses this in her song Overheated as well on her last album, Happier Than Ever. I think this is the perfect quotation to use for how I feel about plastic surgery now as well. The plastic surgery dilemma is actually such a huge, moral, complicated mess, and there's no simple answer actually. We have been using plastic surgery for centuries now. It did become a lot more prevalent in World War I after the soldiers were in need of facial reconstruction. That's a huge reason to have plastic surgery. There's a whole need for the plastic surgery profession, for sure. I have changed my mind on this a lot. I've opened my eyes to different possibilities, and I think it's important to realize just because I wouldn't do something personally, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't exist or it shouldn't be there for other people. I do think the plastic surgery has kind of become more mainstream, especially since Brazilian butt lift surgery and the Kardashians have taken over social media with their plastic bodies that they completely deny, which is a whole other problem that I will get into probably one day. So I'm not saying people shouldn't get plastic surgery if they really think it's what's going to make them happy. However, I really don't like the idea of pushing this perfection on people from the media just because it makes them more money. If you feel insecure about yourself and then you have to get plastic surgery, they get more money from it. It just seems to be this like terrible cyclical thing that is so toxic, and that's a part of the industry I really disdain actually. So Bella is definitely in one of the most shallow industries probably ever, and she must feel an immense pressure to look a certain way. She always has paparazzi following her, looking at every inch of her body, her face, her clothes, everything. She's just always under the public eye, being scrutinized for every decision she makes. So I really don't condone Bella making these lies about what procedure she's had done. However, I have begun to understand it more as I have grown older and more compassionate and trying to be less judgy overall about the whole thing. I don't have any firsthand experience with plastic surgery, nor am I a medical professional and can give you any real like breakdowns of what she's had done to her face. But I think that the evidence is there to show that she has indeed had more work done than just a nose job. I think that the biggest takeaway from this is bad parenting, really. I really think that Yolanda has a lot to answer for. The fact that she let her daughter get a nose job at 14 is appalling. You haven't grown into, like, if I had have gotten plastic surgery for anything I was insecure about when I was 14, I wouldn't even look like myself anymore. When you're 14 years old, you basically hate everything about yourself. You're going through puberty, everything's changing. You have to let your body go through it and come out the other side before you make any of these decisions, I think. It's a huge life-changing thing. You know, even Bella herself said, I wish I had have kept the nose of my ancestors because I think I would have grown into it. So I really think you should wait until you're at least 18 years old before you try and make any huge decision on how you want to change yourself permanently. Also, Yolanda has just a terrible track record. It's shown on TV as well when they were on The Real Housewives. Just the way she treated Gigi and Bella, respectively, is terrible. Always telling them to eat less, always telling them to look a certain way, don't play certain sports because it's gonna make you more muscly and then you're gonna eat like, oh, If my parents did that to me, I'd be severely screwed up. As a mother, you have to do better for your children, I think. I mean, she definitely instilled this idea of being perfect from a super young age. Like, when did Gigi start modeling? She was 3 or something. And then probably it's the reason why at least Bella has admitted to having eating disorders. And I'm sure that Gigi has had to fight through a lot of demons too because of this. I'm gonna try and understand all people and how they tick though, and say that Yolanda herself was also a model. So she probably felt this huge pressure to be perfect. It's just cyclical. It's what she knew when she was young, and now it's what she's showing her daughters. And so the problem isn't even Yolanda. The problem is society. But Yolanda I think she should have stepped it up for her kids and tried to like rewire the way she thinks for the health of her own daughters and the happiness, really. I'm trying to see the bigger picture here, but it would take years of unmasking basically our whole psyche, and people who are a lot smarter than me have been doing this for centuries and centuries. So we're just gonna leave it here before I get, really upset about this. What can we take away from this? There's so much to be taken away from this situation, as well as other celebrities opening up or not opening up about what procedures they've had done. I think the problem isn't actually Bella. The problem isn't actually Yolanda. The problem is actually society and what we've built for ourselves. We did this to ourselves, for sure. I think it's really easy for us all to just point a finger at Bella and be like, you're the problem because she's the face that everybody sees. On top of everything, Bella's also being censored by her PR team. So that's something that we can also take into account when looking at these statements that she's making. This is a huge step forward for the industry. I think that we shouldn't just kind of brush it off as she should have admitted to everything, because at least it's something. It's probably really embarrassing for her, and she probably has a lot of shame around it. It's so sad to think about a young girl, because I think we've all been there, us women, and you just feel so much pressure and shame to be a certain way and you're just not. I think that she will probably start to open up about different procedures that she's had in the future when she's ready. And I hope that she does, and I hope that the stigma keeps getting peeled away from being ashamed of getting anything done to yourself. I also think something we need to keep in mind is we're living in a social media world, and everything that we're ingesting is being photoshopped, face-tuned. There's filters on top of videos now. So when we're taking this in, when we're ingesting all of this, just remind yourself that it's not real. Social media is not real. This is also kind of a huge movement happening now. People are starting to become a little bit more honest about the photos that they're filtering and everything, but it's something that we need to definitely push more for in the future, more so with celebrities and influencers, I think. Bella is basically just a victim of her surroundings, and she's a product of society, and we're just eating up everything. We are consuming all of her struggles and all of her decisions and everything because we're just spectators in her life. I also think that the surgeries that she's gone through, from the research that I've done, must have been very painful. She would have had a really long recovery time. There's a price to pay, more than just monetary, for getting that kind of surgery done. And it makes me really heartbroken that she felt the need to completely change the way she looked for the profession she was in. I used to kind of feel this way when I was in acting school, which was such a short period of my life, really. I'm an animator now, and I feel virtually no pressure anymore to look a certain way when I'm just sitting there drawing cartoons. But when I was constantly under the public eye every single day, and all my peers were, we had so many issues because you're just being scrutinized. Every single piece of your body and how you present yourself is being ripped apart. I feel awful for her. I really do. I hope that in the future, influencers and, celebrities, people who are a part, who have any kind of following, are more transparent, are more open about things that they've had done. I mean, I don't want to be like, think of the children, but I do worry for the children. Like, if I ever had a kid, I wouldn't want them seeing all this and thinking they weren't good enough. So I hope that we can do it for the future of humankind. Okay, sorry, that was a lot. I want to know your guys' thoughts, your feelings. I want to keep it nice in the comment section. Just tell me anything that you're feeling about this. I think it's important that we have an open discussion. I'm sorry this video is completely different than what I thought I was going to do today, but I did think it was important. I wanted to give some kind of perspective. Yeah, just trying to be a little bit more understanding about why people do certain actions and they're not fully honest. Yeah, it's always way more complicated. There's so much beneath the iceberg that we don't know. We're just looking at this small portion of celebrities. They don't even know themselves. Please like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts. And next video is gonna be lighter. I promise, it's gonna be happy. Yeah, I wanna kind of go through a full spectrum of everything on this channel. This was a crazy, off the rails, past, present, couture. I love you all. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. And until next time, besos.